What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to another episode of Live with Brandon Blakeney. Now, kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. With the Nate Smith National Player of the Year mid-season, up to this point, Player of the Year candidates being announced, there were a handful of players on the list that I wanted to talk about, dissect their games a little bit, and look at what they've been doing up until this point of the season. Now, there will be some household names that are known all around the country on this list that we'll talk about, but there will also be maybe some underdogs that aren't getting the same type of hype. We've got some upperclassmen, we've got some freshmen, we've got guards, we've got bigs, we've got wings, and everything in between. But before we get into all that, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest, and join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
The first player I want to talk about is maybe the most versatile and has the deepest offensive bag on this list potentially, and that is the senior forward out of Tennessee, Rakia Jackson. The 6'2 senior, man, is averaging 18.6 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists, all while shooting 45% from the three. Now, unlike most players on this list, she has battled some injuries, and that has impacted her team's season. But when she's been on the floor, she has been impressive, y'all. Right now, Tennessee sits at 15-9 on the year, 8-4 in SEC play, which puts them at third right now. And Rakia Jackson is a huge reason why. With her ability to stretch the floor, shoot the three ball, get it off the dribble, hit the mid-range. She's physical, she's big, she's skilled, she's fast, she's athletic, and she is a walking mismatch on any given night to any team that has to match up with her. Just her skill set is so pro-ready, man. I think she's going to be a superstar in the WNBA. And just in the college game, she's going one-on-one with defenders. And, she's killing. She's killing straight up, man. Just her ability to really just score the basketball at all three levels. And at 6'2", getting to the basket like she does off the dribble. You know what I'm saying? Taking the contact, finishing through contact. You try to put a big on her, and she's going to blow past her. You bring a smaller defender, she's going to either finish through them or shoot the basketball. She has a really nice mid-range game. I love how she runs the floor and just utilizes every angle on the basketball court to get to her spot. And there's no wasted movements. She's catching the basketball, she's looking to score it, or she's looking to dish it. I'm a big Rakia Jackson fan. Just her versatility, man. She is just a Swiss Army knife when it comes to scoring the basketball, and she has been for the last couple of years, man. The shot-making ability, the ability to get it off the dribble, finish in the paint with either hand, take on contact, finish through the contact. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it just adds more into her game. She's the ultimate competitor. She's super vocal, has that leadership ability that you want to see. And if Tennessee, they're fighting for their tournament lives right now. I think that they have a chance to make a run in the SEC tournament and punch their ticket in the NCAA tournament. And behind Rakia Jackson, man, she's one of the best players in the nation, straight up. They got a chance to make some noise in March. I'm a big fan of her game. She had a big summer in the Mary Cup tournament with the women's national team for America, led the team in scoring, just showing her ability to just flat out put the ball in the hoop. Jackson is the real deal, man, just super polished. Maybe, like I said, the deepest offensive arsenal in this list right now, man. There's not a place on the court where she cannot score the basketball. Staying with the SEC, we got to talk about the reigning most valuable player in the NCAA tournament last year, defending NCAA champion, Angel Reese. Now, LSU has had some up and downs. They're one of the most highly criticized and just most watched teams in the nation. They're at 21-4 right now, 8-3, which puts them second in the SEC. Now, Reese had a slower start to the season than last year. She even got benched at one point. But since then, she has absolutely had it rolling for those Bayou Bengals. And on the season so far, she is averaging 19.5 points per game, 12.6 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and she's shooting at 50% from the three, 50.6 if you want to get technical. The 6'3 junior, the pride of Baltimore, Maryland, is just one of the most dominant offensive presence on the glass, down low, on the block. Nobody's had an answer for her. She's big, she's strong, she's physical, and she is relentless on the glass. LSU does a good job of getting her in the post, feeding her the basketball, and letting her go to work. One-on-one, Reese is a nightmare matchup, man. Just her length, her size, her physicality. Like I said, if she misses the first opportunity, she's going up for the second and the third. She is going to get a bucket, and there's not much you can do about it. I think she's expanded her game this year, too, showing that she can hit the mid-range jumper when left open. She runs the floor like a gazelle, just her agility. Being agile, being able to move side to side makes her a nightmare matchup for other bigs to try to run with her in the open floor. You get it down low, she's finishing. She don't finish the first one. She's getting the rebound. She's getting the putback. And she's continued to create a lot of opportunities for LSU, man. And I think she's taking on more of a point forward role this year, too, as well. Running the offense through her. LSU has been successful. She's got that playmaking ability. She can handle the basketball as well, beat her man off the dribble, or, you know what I'm saying, if it comes down to it, they can throw it down in the post, and she can make things happen as a playmaker as well, finding open shooters, finding cutters. Angel Reese has just continued to deliver night in and night out, just being a force for LSU through the criticism, through the praise. She took a lot of criticism, man, over the summer. You know, she's been at red carpet events. She's been on the cover of magazines galore. And people were saying she wasn't as focused. And she's come in on a mission this season. And LSU, we got to respect them. They the champs today, ain't the champs no more. But Angel Reese, just her dominance on the glass. You can't teach that. It's all motor. It's all effort. And there's just not too many players in the nation that are going to outwork her. And I'm telling you right now, I think South Carolina, there's a good chance they have their first loss if Angel Reese doesn't foul out of that game, man. She is the heart and soul of this LSU team, and she continues to deliver night in and night out, averaging a double-double, man, just dominant. We have not seen too many post players like her in the nation right now that can impact a game in multiple facets. She's a monster on the defensive end, blocking shots as well, being that anchor down low on both ends for LSU, and I think she deserves as much talk, as much shine as anybody when we're talking about the best players in the nation. Staying with the forwards, with the bigs, I am also a huge fan of Cameron Brink out there on the West Coast for the Stanford Cardinal, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, averaging almost 3 blocks a game. She's also averaging 17.8 points and 11.4 rebounds, along with 2.4 assists, and she's shooting almost 55% from the field. Now, I feel like Brink kind of goes overlooked a bit because Stanford is out in the West Coast, and the Pac-12 does a trash job of putting their games on national TV, so we can actually take in Brink's games on a weekly basis. But nonetheless, she is continuing to lead a very strong Stanford Cardinal squad. They are 22-3 on the year, 12-2, sitting at first place in the Pac-12, which might be the deepest conference in the nation, and Stanford has continued to be the cream of the crop. When you look at Brink, I think she came in after that 3v3 international competition. After playing with pros, playing a more physical game, she has been more physical this year. At 6'4", she utilizes her length better than almost any player in the nation. She's also been able to stretch out her range to the three-point line this year, which adds a completely different dynamic to her game, man. Brink just runs the floor well. She has really good defensive instincts. She crashes the glass. She's physical. She's definitely got that dog in her. Like, she's a big-time competitor, and I don't know if people give her enough credit for that, man. Like, Brink is the real deal. She's tough. She's scrappy. She does not let the physicality of the game bother her at all. It seems like she embellishes those physical games down low. She's had some big tests in the post this year, and she's passed every one, man. I love how she gets up and down the floor. I love the tenacity, the basketball IQ, the focus. Just her being able to continue for the last few years being just a dominant prospect on both ends of the floor. Stanford's front court is good enough to lead them to a national championship. They have been in the national conversation, and Brink is a huge reason why. And I think, when you just talk about dominating on both sides of the basketball, you gotta mention Brink as one of the best players in the nation. Staying with the Pac-12, the first guard that we're mentioning, the freshman, 6'2", JuJu Watkins out of LA, the neighborhood hero, decided to stay home at the crib and play for USC and those Trojans. And we know the pedigree that USC has with some of the greatest that have come through there to ever lace them up in the women's game. And JuJu Watkins in year one, she had a 51-point game, y'all. When you talk about scoring the basketball, you got to start with JuJu Watkins. She's averaging 28 points, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and shooting the basketball over 43% from the field. When we talked about Rakia Jackson, but if anybody does have a deeper bag on the offensive side, it might be JuJu Watkins, man. She just looks like a pro. If there was a one and done in women's college basketball, JuJu would be the one to break the mold as potentially a number one pick even in this year's WNBA draft, man. She's just so smooth, so polished, gets it off the dribble, can get to her shot anytime she feels like it, mid-range, deep ball, getting to the cup, finishing through contact. She's got a lot of pressure on her shoulders as a freshman. She's already been deemed as one of the game's greats and maybe the future face of women's basketball, and she's delivered night in and night out. She's had multiple 30-point games, like we mentioned. She had a 51-piece, and she is just really, I'm not going to say revived this USC program because they had a good team last year, but losing 2 players to the WNBA draft, expectations weren't super high for this squad, and they've gotten big wins this year in a loaded Pac-12. Behind JuJu, they've beat Stanford and Cameron Brink, and they've also beat UCLA, who's a really good squad too, and an interstate rival. Right now, the Trojans sit 19-4 on the year. They're 9-4 in Pac-12 play, sitting 4th right now in the Pac-12. And it's going to be even more exciting next year, man. They've got a couple 5-star recruits coming in, reinforcements to join JuJu, but Watkins has the Slam Cover magazine recently. She has really taken college basketball by storm. Coming in as the number 1 player in the nation, there was already going to be a lot of hype regardless of how she performed. But she has completely just exploded onto the scene. I think out-achieved and outperformed even the expectations, the lofty ones that we had coming into this season for her, man. She is just a special player. She's must-see TV. Like I said, just the offensive repertoire, off the dribble at 6'2", shooting over smaller defenders. She's a big guard. She can guard multiple positions. She's out there blocking shots. Just the offensive repertoire to go for 51 points and just do it within the flow of the offense. Like, JuJu is just a natural born scorer, man. And I think when we talk about players of the year and freshmen of the year, she could take home both of those awards depending on how USC finishes the season. But JuJu, man, she's going to be a problem for the next 3 to 4 years in college basketball. The league is hers. This is her world. We just all watching at this point and taking notes. Switching over to the ACC, which is another loaded conference, I want to talk about another freshman who, if JuJu wasn't in the picture, would be a lock for freshman of the year, leading Notre Dame, and that's Hado. Now, Olivia Miles was the best player on this team, leading scorer, like the all-in, be-all for this squad the last couple of years, and they were expecting her to lead the charge this year. She hasn't played yet. She's been hurt. Hado came in as a 5-star recruit, big expectations, and she has lived up beyond her hype as well, being plugged in immediately. Got her start of her college career, playing against South Carolina overseas, and she balled out. And she was really the only bright spot for Notre Dame. And it's been like that for a few games this season. Right now, she's averaging 24.5 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, 5.4 assists, and we can't ignore the steals, leading the nation in steals as well, freshmen and everybody else. She's a pesky defender. Do not dribble the ball too far out in front of her, or she is swiping that and going the other way. I've said it before. She really reminds me of Trae Young, man, the way she plays the game. Just really good in the pick and roll, good decision maker, has unlimited range, can get her shot anytime she wants, really quick release, and she doesn't get blocked a lot at 5'6" because she's just crafty at creating space and getting her shot off. Just has the ball in the string, really good pace that she plays with. She can change gears. She's really, really creative around the cup, finishing among the trees. Layup package is deep, and she can finish with either hand, man. She's another freshman that has completely taken the nation by storm. She's leading the ACC in scoring as a freshman, and it's just hats off to the way she plays the game. Just tenacious, competitive. She's another one that has that dog in her for sure. And as a freshman, she wants to take the big shots. She wants to be the vocal leader for Notre Dame in year one, and playing at a prestigious program like that, playing for a prestigious coach like Coach Ivey, who demands the best out of her guards and has had a bunch of pros come through there. Hado could be the best guard to come through Notre Dame, and we've seen the ones that are delivering in the WNBA, but just the numbers she's putting up as a freshman, immediate impact. She's another player that's going to have the league and the country in a chokehold moving forward. Notre Dame is going to be in the thick of things. They're my dark horse. I think they could make a run if they get healthy. Sonia Citron, Maddie Westbeld, Hannah Hidalgo, a really good three-headed monster that they've got. And then, you think when they get Olivia Miles back, an all-conference, all-American type of talent, man, that's only going to bring out more excellence from Hidalgo playing with another experienced guard. But she has been getting some great coaching from her teammates, and I just love the energy she plays with, man, on both sides of the basketball. She relishes locking down her opposition, man, on the other side of the ball, and then wants to give them 25 at the same time, man. But just the quickness, the craftiness, the playmaking ability, she's just nasty in transition, man. She can get to the bucket. She's super quick. She eats up space. One of the best point guards in the nation already in year one. And, hey, we got to give her respect, man. Hidalgo, depending, like I said, on how Notre Dame finishes the season, I think she will continue to be in that player of the year race. And, hey, she's putting up numbers we cannot ignore. And Notre Dame, hey, man, I'm just saying, I think with all the injuries, they've manned the ship, and they are surpassing expectations as well. Once they get healthy, watch out. Last but not least, rounding out our list, staying in the ACC, is Elizabeth Kitley, the fifth-year senior who decided to come back, reigning ACC Player of the Year at 6'6". I don't understand why she's not getting more draft prospect talk, man. I think she's going to be incredible in the WNBA, just with her skill set, high intangibles. She has a go-to move. A lot of bigs in the nation right now do not have a go-to move. She has that fade-away post play. You know what I'm saying? She can knock down the fadeaway jumper back to the basket. She can make things happen. Excellent. Superb footwork, size, strength, mobility. She runs and moves really well at 6'6". Right now, she's averaging 22.8 points per game, 11.7 rebounds, 1.8 assists, and she's shooting almost 55% from the field. And as a team, Virginia Tech right now is 21-4, 12-2 in the ACC play right now. They're first in the league, and they have been on a run so far, man. Like, the last few games, she has really pulled it together and got it going, honestly. Ever since they lost that game to Duke, they have been rolling. She's part of one of the most dynamic 1-2 punches with Georgia Amore. But Kitley surprised a lot of people because I think she could have been a first-round pick in this draft this past year and had some consideration for Rookie of the Year in the WNBA. She comes back and continues to dominate for Virginia Tech for another year. A team that had a deep tournament run and is looking, they're experienced. They're looking to have a deep run this year, and I think Kitley puts this team on her back, and they can play with just about anybody in the nation, man. But I love her skill set. They throw it down. She can pass out of the post. Like I said, she has that fadeaway jumper on either side of the basket locked down. That's tough to guard at 6'6". She's not getting her shot blocked. She's another player that's also competitive, relentless on the boards. Moves extremely well. She's the tallest player on this list at 6'6", and moves extremely well up and down the court. Moves well laterally. Is active on the defensive side, blocks shots, And I really think that we're going to see her best basketball in the WNBA. She is a franchise level player. You pair her with a good guard that can get her the basketball, and the sky's the limit with Kley. We're seeing it. We're seeing the blueprint right now with her and Georgia Moore. If they get another guard in the WNBA, if she pairs up with another guard that can get her the basketball, she's going to be a walking double-double just like she is now. She's a player I'm surprised, like I said, that's not getting more WNBA love, because I think she's going to be a stud. She should absolutely be a top 10 pick this year for anybody that needs a big. I think her ceiling could be as high as like a Camila Cardoso or Cameron Brink. Like, her ceiling is that high. She's a little older, but just the experience and the offensive polish. She's got the best offensive game of any big in the nation. Like, just moves wise, a go-to, the footwork, the way that she can just use that lateral movement and use every angle on the court to get her matchup out of position to finish down low. She's taking double and triple teams, and it don't matter. She's still delivering game in and game out. Now, this is a part 3 of these series. Now, if you're thinking some players are missing, go ahead and check out the first 2 parts, because this is our 3rd edition of this. But I wanted to highlight some players after that Nate Smith watch list was dropped, and we're seeing players perform as we get towards the end of conference play, and we're thinking about those conference tournaments. Some of these players that are leading their teams, winning a lot of games, and just performing night in and night out. But y'all let me know. Holla at your boy in the comments and let me know how y'all feel about all this. And let me know who should we talk about next in our next video. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, hey, we out.